journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach, lechi lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lechi lach, lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach.
Lechi lach, go forth. These words are adapted by Debbie Friedman based on the account in Genesis of God's call to Abraham and to Sarah to go forth to an unknown place, to leave the familiar into a mysterious journey into the future. We say to Rena Defez, Lechi lach, go forth to the place you do not know yet. Lechi lach, may you be blessed on your journey. We gather today to accompany Rena Defez on a journey, and we bless her to be at peace and eternal rest. We say, Lechi lach, we are here to celebrate the great name you made for yourself in this world as a sister, a spouse, mother, and grandmother, and for countless students who will continue to praise Rena's name for the ways that she touched their lives. We say, Lechi lach, Rena, may your memory be an enduring source of blessing to those who love you. And I want to acknowledge the presence of our colleagues, Rabbi Rick Rines of Temple Sinai, where the Defezes belonged for many years. Also to Rabbi Dahlin, who's here with us today, and to Rabbi Liban and others of Jewish experience. And we thank you for your presence and support as well, along with this beautiful community. At this time, I'm going to call forward Eitan again to chant Psalm 23.
Mismor David, Adonai roi lo echsar, בינות אשר ביצני, על מי מנוחות ינהלני. נפשי ישובב, נפשי ישובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות, לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך, שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צורריי. דישנת ושמן ראשי, דישנת ושמן ראשי, דישנת ושמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים.
Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want, giving me repose in green meadows, leading me beside the still waters to revive my spirit, guiding me on the right path, for that is God's essence. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai forever. Dear Mrs. Defez, wrote a parent of one of Rena's art students, thank you for making Cottonwood School so beautiful. You have shared your love of art with thousands of Cottonwood children. Thanks for making a positive difference for so many. You truly have made a big difference in the life of my child and all the people who know you. Dear Mrs. Defez, a student wrote, even though we have moved on to campus middle school and are about to become ninth graders, we will always remember your passion to teach. We will miss you. Rena Defez was an extraordinary and passionate educator, mother, wife, and grandmother. She was beloved by her students and family alike for her charisma, her care, her playfulness and colorfulness, her humor, and for the unique connections she made to those around her. Rena was an artist, but always a teacher first. For people were her greatest medium of all. As Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel famously wrote, "Everything depends on the person who stands in front of the classroom. She is either a witness or a stranger. To guide a pupil into the promised land, she must have been there herself. What we need more than anything else is not textbooks, but text people. It is the personality of the teacher, which is the text the pupils read, the text that they will never forget." Rena was born in 1936, the second of 4 siblings to Laura and Samuel Levin in Chicago. Her parents were Sephardic Jews from Turkey, a background and culture that she shared with her beloved husband, Jack. Rena and her soul sister, Esther, followed their mother's instructions and both became educators. Rena augmented her gift for teaching with studies at Chicago Teachers College. Then after completing 2 master's degrees, she began her teaching career in an elementary school in Illinois. She later moved to New York, then Salt Lake City before settling in Denver and teaching in Cherry Creek schools for decades. Everyone knew and loved Mrs. Defez, the art teacher, and she loved her students. Rena also taught in the religious school at Temple Sinai and received the Anita Frickless Award for the most significant contributions to education for 20 years of service as a teacher at Sinai. After she retired officially from teaching, Rena volunteered as an arts teacher for homeless and underprivileged youth, bringing art supplies, clothes, and her huge heart to teach and inspire students with little access to art. Rena met her husband, Jack, when they were just 5 years old at Jack's birthday party, as their families were friends. They later reconnected, dated for some time over long distance through letters and conversations, and eventually were married in 1958. Through their 65 years of marriage, Rena and Jack shared a love for art, the outdoors, and family. They raised 3 children, Lauren, Tamar, and Jonathan, and joyfully welcomed grandchildren and great-grandchildren into their lives. Austin, Rebecca, and Adine shared warm memories of grandma's camp, food fights that she would initiate with chocolate and whipped cream in the backyard, homemade Halloween costumes, and hearing "I love you" repeated every cherished visit. Rena had a special ability to get down on the floor and play with her grandchildren, just as she did with her students. And she loved bringing her family together for arts and crafts, as well as Jewish holidays, Shabbat, Passover, anything really with brisket and family. She would dress up as a clown for Purim and birthday parties, and for her 75th birthday, she had finger painting, a piñata, silly string, and more. For Rena embodied the gold standard of sacred fun and had a true zest for life. She was also strong and active. She enjoyed gardening, swimming, and traveling. Rena was a breast cancer survivor and a resilient woman through the ups and downs of life. Jack was always beside her, even after she suffered a stroke in 2016. Through it all, Rena kept her playfulness, her mischievous personality, and her determination. One time at the hospital, she even swapped her red leaf lower patient status for the higher patient status of her neighbor patient next door. She instilled in all around her an appreciation for learning, for living, for laughter, and for art. Rena, above all, loved her family, Jack, Esther and Michael, Lauren and Tracy, Tamar, Jonathan and Nancy, her grandchildren, Austin and Audrey, Rebecca and Ryan, Zachary, Jonah, Adine, and her great-grandchildren, Lucy, Jack, Theodore, Clark, and Lily. May Rena Defez's blessing be a source of enduring blessing to her family and to all who loved her. May she now rest in peace. May God bring comfort to those who mourn, and let us say, Amen. It's now my pleasure to invite up Rena's daughter, Lauren Defez, to share some personal words.
Thank you all for coming. Today, I'm saying goodbye to my greatest teacher and advisor, my mother, Rena Defez. Those of you who were lucky enough to be touched by her know what a warm and loving person she was. Always there to help, offer advice, and whip up something in the kitchen because everyone needs to eat. Mom was an educator and spent her career for over 30 years with the Cherry Creek School District at Cottonwood Elementary. She also taught religious school at Temple Sinai for many years. Mom loved interacting with children, and it showed at home and in the classroom every day. Rena had the biggest, most captivating smile. Every time she smiled, her whole face lit up, which casted a light into any room she was in. She had an undeniable, mischievous sparkle in her eyes all the time. Mom loved art, traveling, cooking, and puzzles. But most of all, she loved her family and friends. She was always willing to drop everything if we needed her, wanted to play, or just be silly. I couldn't have asked for a better woman to be my friend, teacher, and mother. I will miss her every day, but all the lessons that she taught me will live long through my children and their children. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren, for your powerful words. I'd now like to invite up Austin Sutton, Rebecca Waters, and Adine Defez, 3 of Rena's grandchildren, to share some words.
Hello, I'm Austin. I was Rena's first grandchild. I beat Rebecca here by about 11 years. So Grandma and I were very close. They took me in when I didn't have anywhere else to go. I think the theme of all this is that she was a teacher. She taught me how to not care about what people think by going to the grocery store in clown wigs, making funny faces at people that were staring at us. She was very open and honest, and that's something I definitely learned from her. She also was very comfortable with death. We spoke about it quite often through her chemo with breast cancer. And she spoke to me about this very moment, what she wanted me to say up here in front of everybody, and that she knew everyone was going to come up here and talk about how great she was and how amazing she was. But that wasn't honest, and that's something she always was. She made me promise to come up here and say that as amazing as she was, she could also be a real pain in the ass. I love you, Grandma. Thank you.
My name is Rebecca. I'm Lauren's daughter. I'm Austin's baby sister. And I was Rena's only granddaughter until my brother married Audrey. And together, Audrey and I brought 2 great-granddaughters into my grandma's life. From a very young age, Rena instilled art, love, and kindness into me, and I will cherish those lessons every day. Rena, as it's been said, was an art teacher, and I had the privilege to teach with her at schools for minority children. And she always made it very clear that she was a teacher first and an artist second. Teaching was her passion, and art was her dream. My grandmother also traveled across the entire world. You name it, she went. And although I never joined her in leaving the country, I was fortunate enough to visit her family in Chicago many, many times, as well as road tripping to Utah for plays and weekend exploring. My grandparents loved each other fiercely in their 65 years together, and my grandmother always kept things interesting with her witty temper and her stubbornness. She loved my grandpa with every bone in her body, as does he. My grandma's greatest gift in life were her children. My mother, Lauren, my Aunt Tamar, and Uncle Jonathan were her entire world. And when my mother had my big brother, that was it. Her world was complete. A new profound purpose. She would teach my brother absolutely everything she knew she could. And then came me, and then my cousins, Zachary, Jonah, and Adine, her world even more complete. And when we started having babies of our own, making her a great-grandmother, her role expanded tenfold, and she never once faltered. My grandmother also made very close friends with my granny, my dad's mother, who has also passed on. And I imagine them now having a glass of wine together, or something a little stronger, reminiscing on their wonderful, fulfilled lives and the memories of their families. Rena became my granny's very best friend right before my granny moved to Florida. They continued to talk often and wrote letters back and forth, and my granny cherished that friendship so much. It's really easy to be selfish right now and wish that she was still here, and every single one of us will miss her every day. But she lived such a full life. She did so many things. She met so many people, saw so many places, made so much art, and she loved. She really, really loved. And I really hope that she paints a beautiful sky with my granny every now and then.
I'm Rena Defez. I'm Jonathan's son. I just have a poem that I think is very apt about my grandmother. By Ralph Waldo Emerson. What is success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a bit better, whether it be a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is what it means to succeed.
Thank you, Austin, Rebecca, and Adine, for sharing your personal words. It's now my honor to invite up Jonathan Defez to share some memories and reflections on his mother.
The great Yogi Berra once said, "Always go to your friends' funerals, because if you don't, they won't go to yours." Thank you all for being here. A young Native American boy went walking with his father one day, and he asked, "Father, why did you name my brother and sister the way you did?" The father paused and then said, "The morning your brother was born, your mother and I saw a running deer, so we named him Running Deer. When your sister was born, on the eve, we saw a falling star, so we named her Falling Star." Then the father turned to his son and said, "Why do you ask? Two dogs messing around." I was 12 years old when my mother taught me that joke. And those of you in this room who knew her well knew that she didn't say messing around. You know exactly what she said. I was praying actually, that there would be laughter in this space today. Thank you. Because at the core of laughter is joy. And at the core of my mother's life, there is one thing: joy. This joy did not come easily to my mother. My mother had to fight for every piece of joy in her life. She had to earn joy. But through her struggles, she achieved it. She achieved joy. She fought through an abusive father and poverty. She started working at the age of 12 in a dress shop while still going to school to contribute to the family. She was told by her teachers that the best job she would ever achieve was to be a washerwoman, whatever that means. But she fought on, and as you've heard, went on to become a renowned art educator for children with 2 master's degrees. She married my father and had a new fight on her hands. Her father-in-law was a domineering and overpowering and demanded that my parents stay in New York, take over the family business. My mother did not take well to demands, and with my father fought her way out of New York. My mother fought with my father throughout their lives together. This fight lasted 65 years. 65 years of struggle, of conflict, and of love. Even over the past few years, I acted as sort of a marriage counselor to them. At the age of, you can imagine, at the age of 86 and 90, they still had the energy and the love to fight with each other. Isn't that amazing? She fought to raise 3 children. The first fight was to become pregnant when she was told that this was not possible. She adopted my 2 sisters, Lauren and Tamar. She still did not give up the fight, and I came along just after my sister Tamar. My birth was a fight with both of us nearly died, but my mother fought on. Raising my sisters and I was her next fight. This fight lasted many years with a tremendous amount of sadness, loss, and pain, but my mother fought on. She even fought stage 4 breast cancer and won, a 25-year survivor. Nearly 7 years ago, she suffered a stroke. She fought through the recovery and the rehab and fought various health issues every day to continue to be a loving wife, mother, and grandmother to us all. What was the result of these fights? What was the outcome? What did she gain? Joy. Despite all these struggles, or maybe because of these struggles, my mother's life was still all about joy. This fight generated 5 amazing grandchildren: Austin, Rebecca, Zachary, Jonah, and Adine. And 5 amazing great-grandchildren: Lucy, Jack, Theodore, Clark, and Lily. Joy is at the very core of the way my mom felt about her grandchildren. Pure joy. Many of you may not know this, but my mother's official name is Regina Luna. Rena is actually a nickname, or maybe it's a name she earned, because in Hebrew, Rena means joy. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminder of every glove that laid him down or cut him, till he cried out in his anger and his pain, "I am leaving, I am leaving." But the fighter still remains. My mother's fight is over now. Let us continue her fight. Let us fight on for Rena, for joy. So, thank you. So this is a song, it was very important for me to sing to my mother, especially in the latter years. I was talking to a friend who helped me remember why wait. So even when I would visit her in assisted living, I would sing to her. And this is the song she requested that I sing to her. And this is actually the last song when I felt she was fully conscious, at least communicating on a level that I could communicate with her on. This was the song that she said that she appreciated and that she said brought more joy into this world.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me cry. If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today. If I had a song that I could sing for you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Sunshine almost always
Thank you, Jonathan, for your beautiful words, and for Eitan for learning that song to be able to bring in the Spirit this morning. After our service today, we'll be going immediately to Mount Nebo Cemetery for burial. Then we'll have Shiva visitation this afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. at the home of Rena and Jack Defez, 6764 South Willow Street in Centennial, Colorado. There'll be visitation from 4 to 6 p.m., followed by Mincha Mariv tonight at 6 p.m. Tomorrow morning, there'll be Shacharit at 7:30 with visitation 1 to 3 p.m. Friday afternoon. On Sunday, there will be Shacharit services at 8 a.m. with visitation from 1 to 3 p.m. and Mincha Mariv at 6 p.m. On Monday, there'll be Shacharit at 7:30 a.m. with visitation from 1 to 3 and an early Mincha at 3 because it's Purim that evening. Tuesday, there'll be visitation from 1 to 3 p.m. with Mincha Mariv at 6 p.m. And finally, on Wednesday, there will be Shacharit at 7:30 a.m. We encourage you to come and help make a minyan and to support the Defez family. I want to thank everyone for coming here today and showing your support for this extraordinary family who is just witnessing them support one another is an inspiration to all of us. I'd now like to invite up Jim Cohen to share a few announcements before we conclude our service. Thank you for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the service here at the Hebrew Educational Alliance. We will have a burial at Mount Nebo Memorial Park. We don't have an escorted procession today, so if you'd like to join us at the burial, we'll ask you to start making your way as soon as possible. Please don't delay with conversation in the foyer. And the most important probably is please don't delay the family. If you happen to see them using the restroom or gathering their things, allow them the opportunity to do what they need to do so they can get to the cemetery.
Yeah. At this point, I'd like to call up the pallbearers. Please come up in front. We'll be singing a final song as we exit.
I invite you to sing along. Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. Yirai, 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 ay, 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 ay.